Hello, and welcome back to Just Be True, a soul led podcast. So happy to be back. I took a little bit of a time off, hiatus, I guess you would say, to restructure how this works. Not only the podcast, but also all the material that's surrounding it. Because with each podcast, I do a newsletter that goes out with it. Many times, I also create a meditation that goes with it and updates on my website. So, just wanted to kind of reframe how all of that was doing. And so, got a plan, got a new structure for everything. So, we're ready to kick off. And we're also going to be doing seasons. So exciting. So, this is going to be officially season one, episode one, and it's going to be eight episodes, and they are going to be going out every other week instead of every week going forward. And then in between, there's going to be like a 2 or 3, maybe even a 4 week break in between seasons to recalibrate, refocus, and get the themes ready for season two. So super excited that you're back with me. And so just want to reiterate that this podcast was born from a deep desire to live authentically, to strip away the masks, the expectations, and the old stories, and remember who we truly are. Each episode, we explore what it means to live in harmony with your soul's truth through real conversations, intuitive guidance, and powerful moments of reflection. And today, our episode is releasing the identity of the fixer and the doer, right? It's something that many of us find ourselves in, is being the fixer and the doer for everyone and everything around us. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on releasing the identity of the fixer, releasing the identity of the doer, and asking the gentle, honest question, who are you? When you no longer need to hold everything together. Who are you? So, many of us learned early in life that being needed meant being safe, that being useful meant being loved, and that anticipating others' needs meant belonging. We became the emotional glue, the steady one, the capable one, the one who figures it all out. Not because we were told to, but because something in us sensed that this is how I survive. This is how I matter. And this is how I stay connected. And at the time, it worked. It protected us. It carried us. It helped us navigate moments we hadn't yet had language for. So I want to say this first of all. There's nothing wrong with the fixer, and there is nothing wrong with the doer. These were intelligent adaptations, sacred survival strategies that we had developed over the years. But there comes a moment in our evolution where what once protected us begins to quietly limit. Many of you may be feeling right now a subtle fatigue, a distant interest in constantly managing. And I want to slow that down for a moment because this isn't theoretical for me. I've been there. Being the one who always has to take care of things, making sure the groceries are purchased, making sure the bills are paid, making sure the kids are ready for school, making sure everything's handled, holding the mental load, holding the emotional load, holding the invisible responsibilities that rarely get named. And I don't say this with resentment, I say it with honesty. Because over time, that way of living truly just became exhausting. Not in a dramatic way, not in a collapse, but a quiet, steady, soul deep tired. The kind of tired that doesn't mean something's wrong. The kind of tired that means something in you is ready to soften. Something in you is ready to be supported. Something in you is ready to release the idea that you no longer have to carry it at all. Releasing the fixer doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop helping others. It only means you stop over functioning. So you may notice you don't feel pulled to solve everyone's problems. You don't feel energized by over functioning. You don't want to carry what is no longer yours. And that can feel very unsettling because if you're not fixing, if you're not doing, if you're not holding it all together, who are you? If you're not the fixer, you're not the doer, you're not taking care of everything and making everything work and making everything managed, simply ask yourself, who am I? Here's what I've come to understand through my own journey and through my work with Reiki, energy healing, and spiritual channeling, and connecting with my higher self, above all, connecting with my higher self. Much of our fixer and doer identity isn't just mental, it lives in our nervous system, it lives in our body, it lives in our energetic field. It can show up as hypervigilance, constant scanning, tight shoulders, shallow breath, and difficult resting without guilt. These patterns often formed long before we had adult consciousness. And because they formed early in our lives, they don't unwind through mindset alone. They don't unwind through just thinking about it. They unwind through safety, through gentleness, through the body learning. I don't have to brace anymore. I don't have to be on guard. I don't have to earn my right to exist because my existence is enough and I am worthy. This is where spiritual and energetic work becomes so powerful. Not as saying something that fixes you, but as something that reminds you who you were before those roles. When I work with my clients through Reiki, sound healing, and intuitive channeling, I often witness this as not as a dramatic release, but more as a softening, a quiet exhale, a moment where the system realizes, oh, I'm allowed to be held. From a soul perspective, you were never designed to be an infrastructure. You were never meant to be a beam that holds everything together. You are an expression of consciousness, a unique frequency, a living, breathing note in the larger symphony. Your value has never been tied to your output. Your value is inherited just simply because you exist and you are worthy for the simple fact that you exist. This is a radical remembrance in a world that equates worth with productivity. And as you begin releasing the fixer and the doer identity, you may pass through a strange in between space for all of this. You might feel less driven, less certain, less defined. And this doesn't mean that something is wrong because an old identity is dissolving before the new one fully reveals itself. This isn't emptiness, this is spaciousness. This is fertile ground. This is the pause between the inhale and the exhale. So, a question I invite you to gently sit with, ask yourself, who am I when I stop managing my worth? Not who am I becoming, not what should I do next. Who am I right now? When nothing is required of me, who am I? And I want to make this very grounded for you. Releasing the fixer and the doer isn't something you figure out all at once. It becomes a practice, a day to day practice. It can look like pausing before offering advice, noticing the urge to jump in and choosing to breathe instead, letting someone else feel uncomfortable without rushing to their rescue, and asking yourself, is this actually mine to carry? There's nothing wrong with allowing the dishes to wait, allowing emails to wait, allowing some things to be imperfect, not as negligence, but as disconcern. This is what practice looks like. It's in small steps, it's being human and gracious with yourself, and it takes a daily practice, not dramatic life overhauls. You're going to crash your nervous system if you try to do that. You may not get an answer in words. You may get a sensation, a feeling, a subtle sense of presence, but that presence, that quiet awareness, that's you. Not the roles, not the coping strategies, not the identities, you. So, in my own journey, I've noticed that I release needing to constantly do, right? My work has become more about being available rather than pushing, more about listening rather than managing or doing, more about allowing sessions, offerings, and connections to arise organically instead of forcing that momentum. One simple question I've started asking in my own life is, am I choosing this from alignment or from obligation? And sometimes I still choose to do that thing, but now I'm choosing consciously. I know if I'm doing it from alignment or if I'm doing it from obligation. I tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not doing it from fear. I'm not doing it for proving something. And I'm not doing it to fix something. This question alone can bring to a shift of an entire new pattern. This is also the energy behind my one on one sessions. Whether we're working with Reiki, sound healing, intuitive guidance, or even channeling, the intention is not to fix my clients because you're just fine. I'm not here to fix you. You shouldn't be here to fix yourself. What we're doing is we're creating a safe, grounded, energetic support space where your system remembers how to self regulate, where your soul remembers its own wisdom, and where your identity naturally begins to reorganize, not through pressure, but through permission. And I say to you, allow yourself that permission to let go of the fixer and the doer and be. Be in the present, be in the moment, and be your own priority. If you've been feeling called to slow down, to soften, to come home to yourself, know that this is not laziness. This is actually intelligence. This is your soul signaling a new phase, a phase where effort gives away to alignment, where doing gives away to being, and where fixing gives away to relating. So we're going to do a body practice, body-based practice, right? But I want to offer a very simple way of being receiving in everyday life before we do that. So let yourself receive in small, ordinary ways. Let someone hold a door for you. Let someone else drive. Let someone else make the decisions, and let yourself rest without earning it first, right? I love the part about letting someone else make the decisions. I think, it's like I would go to work and I would have to make decisions all day there, and then I would come home and I would have to make decisions at home. Finally, it got to the point to where when it came to home, I'm like, okay, I'm not making any more decisions about dinner. Going forward, you're taking care of dinner, and I'm just going to enjoy whatever you decide on. That decision is no longer mine to make. And it's made my life so much happier. And it's taken away something off of my to-do list that someone else is perfectly capable of doing. And they do it well. And so giving that up helped both of us. It gave them something meaningful to take on and do to take care of the family. It took a burden off of me that I really just dreaded anyway. And so it was a good thing, right? So receiving doesn't start with big manifestations. It starts with allowing support in the mundane. This this gently retrains our nervous system. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to manage everything. And just realize and accept that you are allowed to be supported. So, we're going to do a small practice right now, one that you can take with you every day going forward. It's going to be very helpful, and you can use it not only for this, for other things too. So, we're going to place one hand on our heart chakra. We're going to place the other hand on our sacral chakra. And when you place these hands on each of these chakra point, it allows the connection of the energy to run between them, to connect them. Okay. And here's the importance of that. Your heart chakra, located in the center of your chest, it represents love, compassion, safety, emotional openness, and connection. And in this practice specifically, the heart hand anchors gentleness, presence, and self compassion. So, our sacral chakra, which is our lower belly, a few inches below the navel, it represents our emotional body, safety in the body, creativity, sensuality, receiving, fluidity, and relationships to pleasure and life force. So these are very important things. And when your hand rests on the lower belly, you are primarily engaging the sacral center. And this is especially relevant for releasing control, for softening, for allowing support, and reconnecting with feelings instead of effort. So We're going to place one hand on our heart chakra. We're going to place the other hand on our sacral chakra. And we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Feel the release. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, and silently repeat. I release the role of holding everything together. I allow myself to be supported. I am safe to soften. I take another deep breath in. Exhale. There's no need to visualize, no need to force. We're just allowing to sit with this. We're allowing this to resonate within us. I release the role of holding everything together. I allow myself to be supported, and I am safe to soften. So you don't need to know who you're becoming yet. You don't need a new identity to replace the old one. You don't need a 5-step program. You only need willingness. Willingness not to reach for control. Willingness to not immediately feel the space, like fill the space. And willingness to stay present in the unknown, because something very honest lives there, something within. And slowly, you may begin to notice a clearer yes, a cleaner no, a gentler relationship with yourself, and a deeper trust in life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer trying to orchestrate every outcome, right? Be in the practice of just being. This is an amazing shift to be in, being in the present. How amazing is that? So I hope you practice the heart chakra, sacral chakra, and saying those few words, knowing that you can also use that for other affirmations and things in your life that you need to connect with and release with. So definitely practice. In 2 weeks, I'll be back um, to be on the lookout for our episode 2 podcast. And that episode is all about when nothing is wrong, but everything is changing. Understanding the quiet internal shift after survival mode. Because many of us, after the last several years, have been in survival mode and we're starting to shift out of that. And so, how does that feel, and how are you going to maintain and manage that? So, that's what our episode 2 is all about. If this conversation resonates, and if you feel like you're standing in that in between space, no, you're not alone. This is the terrain I hold space for in my work, and I would be honored to walk alongside of you. You can find my current offerings, one-on-one sessions, and upcoming group experiences on my website, just.be-true. Sorry. And the link is going to be in the show notes, so you can definitely check them out. And always be gentle with yourself. You are not here to hold everything together. You are here to experience yourself. And if you feel called to explore this work with a deeper community, I have a few upcoming spaces I would love to share with you. I am hosting, so excited about this. I am hosting a soul remembering retreat August 28th through 30th of this year in Savannah, Georgia. The early bird registration is happening right now through May. And it's going to be a sacred, immersive weekend, a reflection, energy work, sound healing, and deep reconnection with yourself, and so, so much more. So, truly, if you're interested, check it out. Also, I am offering a virtual channeling group on February 12th. This gathering is free with limited space available. You must register to receive a Zoom link. And both of these links, sorry, are going to be in the show notes. So if you'd like to learn more about them and reserve your space, check out the show notes for all the links. And until next time, trust what's unfolding within you and simply just be true. And thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Bye.